The Caribbean. On this sea, famous in song and story, swarthy buccaneers defied the courts of France and Spain, and capturing their treasure-laden galleons, plundered and sank them beneath these phosphorescent waves. It was Columbus who first saw that distant shoreline and called it the Vale of Paradise. Today it is known as the island of Haiti, and along its shores lies more buried treasure than anywhere in all the Spanish Main. Its principal city, Port-au-Prince, is still the center of culture, just as it was when known as the Paris of the New World. To rightly understand these people and their strange beliefs, one must remember they are of an African race, brought here as human chattel, that they fought their way free from slavery and founded a republic. The marketplace is at St. Mark's, which is not far from Port-au-Prince, and here on every side one hears the liquid notes of the soft patois of Haiti. They love the barter and trade of the market, and will walk 50 miles for the pleasure of selling a scrap of paper, a few old bottles, or a yam. The man with the chicken and the chair belongs to the order of Papellois, a group of Voodoo priests. His shirt, the right side of which is dark blue, the left dark red, protects him from the evil spirits. And here is the gas girl, who for a few pennies sells kerosene used in lamps. They have very few in these villages. Nonchalantly, she goes about all day with a weight of 30 pounds upon her head. This is one of God's children. She's got shoes. She walks miles in her bare feet, proudly carrying her slippers on her head, so that all women may see her wardrobe is in the very latest mode. The material displayed here bears a design of demon worship transplanted from distant Africa. To the natives, Africa is where the sun rises. This woman is smoking out green gourd. This seasoning process takes away the bitter flavor and makes them practical for dishes and drinking vessels. The seeds of the calabash gourd are ground for love charms to hang around the neck. This simple vegetable was the start of the Federal Reserve Bank of Haiti. For years, the calabash was their only medium of exchange. And even today, some of their money is called gourd. Here we have 2 gourds, apparently of some value, but in reality worth only a few pennies. This market day must have come on a Monday. These people will not sell their wares on the road, for this would rob them of the pleasure of congregating to gossip during the scant 2 hours of early morning before the hot sun drives them away. Nearby, I saw silversmiths plying their trade. Even though their tools are as crude as those used in the days of Babylon, these men are artists. With this strange rack, they scrape and stretch a piece of silver wire, taking great care to make it just the proper thickness. Inside, there are others who melt and weld the silver wire together. The quiet of this workshop is in marked contrast to the babble of the marketplace. Then, others of the family pinch the silver into beautiful designs that have been handed down to them for generations. And finally, grandfather, who seems to hold his age quite well, gives it a high polish with soda until the finished product becomes a beautiful silver bracelet. These are sold in foreign cities for as high as $25 apiece. It is typical of Haiti that this exquisite jewelry should be created in such primitive surroundings. Charles Normil, the sculptor, is modeling the awakening of Haiti. These people who once were slaves produce artists and sculptors equal to those of any country in the world. They are passionately devoted to the Republic, and their progress is reflected in the beauty of their architecture. The persistent struggle of this race produced its great hero, Macandal, who, while being burned alive at the stake by superhuman strength, tore himself free, and shouting weird, incoherent African words, escaped to the hills. Dessalines, and Toussaint Louverture, the turbaned carriage slave, who to save his people knelt with hundreds of his brethren and drank the hot blood of sacrifice. The advancement of Haiti proves that these liberators did not die in vain. Along the beautiful roads, only a short distance from these magnificent buildings, we pass houses with thatched roofs. that are still like those of Africa. In these villages, the people are a peculiar blend of the past and the present. They accept the teachings of civilization, but to play safe, they also visit the witch doctors and wear voodoo charms. Here they keep the sacred goats, used in the rites of the temple. These people may be so poor they cannot afford a house of their own. Still, the sacred goat must live in luxury. And here, so close to civilization, I heard the low throbbing of drums coming from this grove of royal palms. I could hardly believe my ears, for I knew the voodoo rite was forbidden by law. Yet as I penetrated deeper into the jungle, I saw that which few white men ever see, the cult of the voodoo. I watched them, fascinated, as dressed in their finery they abandoned themselves to the rhythm of the drums. This dance is not to be confused with a religious or ceremonial rite, for voodoo has only to do with the mind. Modern civilization has not wiped out this dark practice of the past. Ever in crowded cities, the flame of this cult bursts forth, handed down from a time when human blood was spilled on the sacred drums, and Damballa was incarnate in the green serpent. Even today, their call spells life and death, and when the drums throb, he who is wise will never interfere. Strange is the spell cast by these three drums: Papalwa, the male drum; Mamalwa, the female drum, who breeds new generations; and the little drums, their offspring. They represent life itself. And above the drum's undertone rises the never-ending obligato of a pebble-filled calabash, whose jangle carries a warning as definite as the vibration of a rattlesnake. What is this uncanny power of the voodoo drums? It is said that the mere sound of their throbbing can kill a man who is miles away across the island. That this strange cult can make the dead walk. That the power of voodoo can interchange the mind of woman and goat. Three drums that sound like hundreds echoing throughout the jungle. Across the tight head of the center drum, the Mamalwa, I could see the marks of the night, where blood had been spilled in the sacrifice of the goat without horn. Hidden in the heart of the jungle is a mystery that cannot lightly be dismissed as a primitive expression of savagery. The drum beat is a metaphysical symbol. It has no prescribed locale. The African veld, the American wilderness, the deserts of Arabia all know the hypnotic spell of the tom-tom's beat, a rhythm that can increase the beating of the heart and control the mind of man. Beautiful Haiti, well named the Vale of Paradise. Someday, perhaps in the distant future, when the races of mankind better understand each other, we will solve the secret of the voodoo drums that call from the hills of Haiti.